I'm Amy Cherry. This local news is a service of Flagler County's Toyota dealer, Beaver Toyota, here to wow ya. Palm Coast City Council has a new interim city manager, Tony Magoo reports.
Both FALGO agreed with Mayor Melissa Holland that the release of backup documentation for city council workshops has to be done in a timely manner. The last-minute release of these materials had been one of Mayor Melissa Holland's stated reasons for asking the council at last week's meeting to fire former city manager Jim Landon. Mayor Holland thinks that maybe they can go a step further.
I had stated that I'd like to have the agenda for me on Friday before meetings, and I do think those agendas need to be published as well. They need to be open out in the community.
City council members were in the mayor's corner on this one, but Landon resisted and continued releasing the materials shortly before the Tuesday workshops were due to start. FALGO said he will aim to get backup materials to the council members on the Fridays before the workshops.
So I feel we're going to do our best every week to deliver those presentations as an attachment to the agenda on Friday before your workshop. If we can't, we may just pull that item and delay it to the next workshop.
FALGO is currently working without a new contract that reflects his expanded responsibilities. Mayor Holland asked the city attorney to draft an updated contract for FALGO, one that the council can vote on at its upcoming business meeting next Tuesday. For Flagler's Morning News, I'm Tony Magoo.
This portion of WNZF Local News, a service of the Daytona Beach International Airport. Fly to the Big Apple in a New York minute on JetBlue from the Daytona Beach International Airport.
Palm Coast Mayor Melissa Holland's plans to delay the permanent replacement of city manager Jim Landon have hit a snag. Most of council apparently doesn't agree with her move. Council unanimously voted to fire Landon last week after he'd managed the city for more than a decade. Holland wanted to wait to advertise the position until late November, when 2 new council members will have their seats. The city's attorney says it will take about 15 weeks to conduct a search for a new city manager and get that person in place, meaning the city will go without until midwinter. There's also some discord on how the interviews will be conducted. Councilman Cuff wants to have one-on-one closed-door meetings, while Holland prefers a public, transparent process. Interim city manager Bo FALGO is likely to apply for the job on a permanent basis. Both Holland and Cuff have spoken favorably of him. Palm Coast's first fire chief is hanging up his hat. You've been invited to a public celebration of Michael Beadle's career at the Palm Coast Fire Station on Belterre Parkway today at 2 p.m. The transfer of command ceremony will include a presentation of the colors and several speakers before Deputy Chief Jerry Forte is sworn in as chief. Beadle became the city's first fire chief in the year 2000, shortly after the city incorporated. He's been a firefighter since 1988, beginning as a volunteer. Forte also started as a volunteer in 1990. He's been the second in command for nearly a decade. Palm Coast city officials are hoping to convince residents to keep their holiday shopping local to help bolster the area's economy. John R. King has more.
With National Small Business Saturday coming up on November 24th, the Saturday after Thanksgiving, Palm Coast City Council asked city staff to come up with a marketing campaign to inform residents. Mayor Melissa Holland, speaking during the City Council workshop on Tuesday, said they need to find a way to reinforce to residents that when they choose to spend their money in Ormond Beach or St. Augustine, they're enhancing those communities at the expense of Palm Coast. At the workshop, city staff unveiled a concept logo for the initiative with the words "Be Local, Buy Local" superimposed on the city's palm tree and sun logo. When Newingham, Palm Coast head of innovation and economic growth, said that sales tax money from local spending generated $7.6 million in revenue for the city in 2017. That money, she added, helps prevent the need for tax increases. While the city has largely used free methods to promote the shop local idea, officials seemed open to finding some funding for a sustained year-round campaign. From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm John R. King.
And now you're up to date on Flagler's Morning News. I'm Amy Cherry.